Hi there. Welcome to episode 7 of Come Railfan with me. I'm Steve Boyko. Today I'm going to talk about the ethics of railfanning. And by the ethics of railfanning, I mean being a decent person while you're out watching trains, photographing trains. It can cover a lot of things, but I have several topics that I want to talk about. Trespassing, recording possible rule breaking, photographing crew, privacy, credit, and dangerous behavior. So let's get started. Trespassing. This is obvious. You shouldn't trespass. And that is obviously a major ethical breach if you do so. And by trespassing, I'm not just talking about wandering around in a rail yard. I know back, if you look at photos from the 50s and 60s and 70s, maybe even 80s, on some branch lines and so on, you can see that the rail fans wandered all through yards, usually with the full knowledge and permission of the railway crew, and nobody cared. They just wandered around, took whatever photos they wanted, wandered up and down dead lines, did whatever they wanted, and it was just apparently a rail fan paradise. Well, those days are gone. You do not wander around in yards, do not enter yards, because the railroad police are there, and they're going to catch you, and they're going to charge you. So definitely don't do that. I know there have been times when I've seen that there's some interesting locomotive or interesting train in the yard. You can't get a shot from public property. Well, it's too bad. You don't get the shot. It's not worth getting charged, getting a criminal record. So obviously don't trespass. But I'm also talking about things like trespassing on the right-of-way. Things like getting too close to the tracks, which is, dangerous behavior, and I'll cover that again later. But you obviously should not be trespassing. Now, I've seen photos that you can look at them and you go, I know where you're standing when you took that photo, and you shouldn't have been standing there. I can think of one example where, from a bit of a height from out in the prairie, and you do the math and you think, well, you're standing out in the middle of a flat prairie, like what's behind me right now, and there's nothing to stand on. There's no hills. So what exactly were you on? And then you realize that they had climbed a signal tower to take their photo. And that's not okay. That's railroad property, and you should stay off it. So I think that one's pretty obvious. The next one, though, is rule breaking. And what I'm talking about here is not you breaking the law. I'm talking about you recording a train crew that may or may not be breaking the rules. I know this comes up in Railfan forums now and then. First thing you need to realize is that you don't know all the rules as a railfan. They may not be breaking the rule, so don't jump to conclusions. Second of all, if you record what you think is a rules violation of some kind, why would you share it? These are people's jobs and why would you put their jobs in jeopardy? Some rule violations are, of course, serious and should be reported if they're very serious. But some rule violations are pretty minor, and I don't think we should be posting them online. An example I might give is maybe I'm seeing a train out here in the prairies in the middle of nowhere, and the headlight isn't on, or the ditch lights aren't on when they come to a crossing. Is that really something that needs to be posted? I don't think so. But everyone's going to make their own choices, and I understand that completely. But I think those kinds of things should not be posted online. And I've had a few videos where I've recorded them, and I look at them and I go, I don't think I should post this, and I don't, and it's never been shared. So you should really think about that. And the next thing that leads into is crew. Now, I know a lot of rail fans have no problem taking pictures of trains with crew in them, and I've been one of those people. The more I think about it, though, these people are out doing their jobs, and they don't want to be necessarily want to be photographed. Understand that. So often what I've been doing in the past several years is that if I photograph a train where the crew is clearly visible, I will blur them so that their faces aren't visible. Sometimes I will try to post the photo that doesn't show the crew, or maybe I'll take the photo and I just won't post it at all. So I don't go. I usually go out of my way now to not photograph crew. I a lot of times when a train's coming, I'll take a few pictures as the train comes, then I'll put my camera down, give the crew a wave, and then photograph the train as it's past me, so that it's pretty obvious I'm not photographing the crew. I'm giving them a wave to say hello, and I think crews appreciate that more than pointing the camera at them, bang, 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 and getting close-ups of them as they go by. So that's, again, my opinion. If you differ, feel free to comment below. So I know some people take really great crew photos. Some Railfan photographers are famous for their crew photography. Those are taken with the permission of the crew. So that's a little different than taking a photograph of a passing train and posting them online. So I tend not to take photos of maintenance away crew anymore, or maintenance away equipment really anymore. I never really took pictures of maintenance away crew before, but they just happened to be in the photo when I take pictures of the equipment. It came kind of to a head for me about a year ago when I stopped and I saw there was some maintenance going on a rail line. I won't mention the railway or where it was, and I stopped and I got out of my car and I took one picture, and the crew foreman drove right up in his pickup truck and started yelling at me about privacy. Now, he was wrong, because I was on a public road, so there is no expectation of privacy there. I'm not breaking any laws, but ethically, maybe I was in the wrong. I don't know. Again, I wasn't taking pictures of the people. I was taking pictures of the work that they were doing, and again, I don't know. I felt bad, but I also felt like I didn't do anything wrong. But in the end, I never posted the photo, and I won't. So we all have to make our own choices. But that gets into the next topic, which is privacy. So part of not photographing the crew is respecting their privacy, and so not posting their faces. And privacy has become more of an issue for me when I'm now that I have a drone and I'm flying my drone. I think about that a lot when I'm flying my drone, to make sure that I am not violating anyone's privacy. So I'm not flying it near houses. I'm not recording houses. A few times when I've taken pictures and posted them online, or taken videos and posted them online, I've blurred someone's house because I don't want it to be online. So I'm very aware of that, and I hope you are too, to be aware of people's privacy. Same thing for people in the background of photos. Maybe you want to blur them. The next one, excuse me, I have a bit of a cold. The next one is credit. So it should be pretty obvious that when you're posting photos online or videos online, that if they're not yours, you should at least mention that they're not yours and where you got them from. Probably you should be only sharing your own photos, but if you want to share someone else's photo, at least say that it's their photo, and don't leave the credit off and imply that you took it, because you didn't. And usually on social networks, that there's a share button so that you can just share it, and then it's obvious where it came from. So don't take credit for stuff you didn't do. The last thing is dangerous behavior, and that's pretty obvious. Don't stand too close to the tracks. Don't do stupid stuff like lay down on the tracks or as an approaching train, or put your camera down on the tracks for an approaching train. Anything that's going to make a crew worry is something you shouldn't be doing. You want to be standing well off to the side, or if you want that head-on shot, find a curve, get a telephoto lens so that you can stand well away and get that great killer head-on shot. Don't do it by standing in the middle of a crossing and then jumping out at the last minute. That's just stupid. And these crews have a lot to worry about, and you don't need to be out there making their lives harder. So that's it for my episode of Ethics of Railfanning. I gotta go because there's a train coming. I see a green light. So thanks for listening, and thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, as people say, and please leave a comment. Appreciate it very much. And visit me on my website, traingeek.ca. Thanks.